Yeah, this is Paul. They have what's called legal. Hang on, it was here just a second ago. Legal reserve, legal right. Any privilege or right which, if challenged, would be supported in court. Now, it seems like such a simple combination of words: legal right, any privilege or right which, if challenged, would be supported in court. Now, let's say that the court instructions say that the law requires, this is the instruction of 2000, the law requires the order to say, if the respondent received notice of the hearing and by what method, since the judge needs to verify service complied with court rules, timely and proper. Let's say I sue the state of Washington, because it's going to happen, and I sue every state of the United States that has any knowledge that my right to due process has been violated for the last 6 years, that my sons are kidnapped and abducted. Now, the dictionary says my legal rights would be supported in court. Now, let's say I sue every Supreme Court justice of the United States Supreme Court for having any knowledge that my constitutional rights are not being enforced, because law enforcement refuses to enforce the laws. Now, if there was any dissenting opinion among the Supreme Court justices, that when the court instruction form says the law requires the order to say, if the respondent received notice, and the protection order actually says the respondent did not receive actual notice, I would have a difficult time if any Supreme Court justice of the United States Supreme Court did not support my legal right to due process. Now, I know it seems like that, well, do I have any legal rights? Do I have any privileges, any immunities, any rights? Does this Constitution mean anything? Now, there have been states that have said, well, we're just not going to let him sue us for everything we own. But when I email thousands of sheriffs throughout the United States, police chiefs, oaths of office, those in judiciaries, judges and justices, and then I finally have to sue every Supreme Court justice in the United States Supreme Court that has any knowledge that the law requires, and this county and this state will not do what the law requires, I would really question the behavior and conduct of any Supreme Court justice in the United States federal government. Now, legal right, legal process, okay? C, process, legal. The legal process of having a process that is legal is that you have to have personal service. There has to be proof of timely and proper service to comply with court rules, okay? Now, let's just look at process, legal process. Hang on here just for a second, okay? Proceeding legal, proceeding process, final process, judicial, a court order, a writ, a warrant, process judicial, a summons of order from the court informing the defendant of the action against him to compel him to appear in court to answer charges, all the acts of the court from the beginning to the end of a lawsuit. Now, the Constitution in the 5th and 14th Amendment says that an American cannot be deprived of life, liberty, or property without process. The court rules require that before there's a court hearing, the respondent has to be given notice and opportunity to be heard. Okay. Okay. So when it happens that every Supreme Court justice gets fired for bad behavior, official misconduct, I'm talking the worst kind of misconduct, because of their refusal to enforce the laws of the United States, don't be surprised when I take the assets of every state of the United States.